Beautiful. All right. So welcome to the Magnetic Mindset Masterclass. Basically, you're in the right place today if you have been lacking a little bit of confidence in your business, or that pesky imposter syndrome has started to come up. It happens a lot with business owners. And it's like very similar to what I was just talking about. We, jump into something, then all of a sudden we go, oh, is this the right thing, or do I know enough, or am I, this or that enough? Am I enough? And of course the answer is yes, you are. But yeah, or you can't seem to figure out the next steps to take. So if you're lacking a little bit of direction, or you're finding that you're keeping like really busy with all of that busy work, and you're not actually moving the needle, and you're not kind of seeing the results that you want. And ultimately, if you want to attract more dream clients, customers, and ultimately sales. So we're going to jump into a few things around that. So today what we're going to go across is we're going to create more clarity and direction in our business. Then we're going to look into alignment and taking aligned action so we can actually move that needle and start getting those results. And then we're going to look at embodying your next level. So always looking at that next level, but whilst being satisfied with where we are as well. And when you step into your next level, you start to attract your dream clients, and you just kind of emanate this confidence and magnetism, which is what we were talking about. A little bit later, I'll also talk about the Abundant Business Blueprint, which is releasing today, and I'm so excited about it. I have put my heart and soul into this. I've been holding on to it for so long, and it's ready to be released into the world. So we'll talk a little bit about that later on as well. So if you don't know who I am Siobhan, and I am a mindset and business coach. I have had what feels like a few different iterations in my life, and I'm sure that you can feel the same way, especially as a business owner. We tend to level up really quickly. There's a lot of personal growth, and sometimes when we look at our lives and when we look back, you kind of look back at that person and you're like, I don't even know who that person is anymore, really. And I know it was me, but we just level up so quickly. So in the first photo, that was actually when I was in New Zealand. So Charlotte was saying she's from New Zealand. So I lived in New Zealand for a while. I studied marine biology at university. I got an honors degree, and basically, I spent my entire life from 10 years old to about 25 years old. I was so certain that I was going to be a marine biologist. No one could tell me otherwise. And I ingrained so much of my identity into being a marine biologist that it became almost like the main part of my identity. And then I went out into the world and, applied for all the jobs, and I was so keen, and I got good results at school, and I did all the right things, and I ticked all the boxes, and I was a good worker, and I took any kind of job that was even remotely related to marine biology to get the experience. And I kind of found myself just working in tourism, and there was, it was casual. There wasn't very much work. It was seasonal. And I kind of looked at myself at 25 and I was like, I had met my, the love of my life. And I was like, I really want, that like consistency and, almost like that safety. And I wasn't getting that in my career. And so I had this massive identity crisis, and I was like, well, who am I if I'm not a marine biologist? Because I have had this for so long. Since I was 10 years old, I have decided that this is the thing. So I don't even know who I am without this degree, or, and I still have the degree, but I don't know who I am without this career. If I change my mind, what are people going to think of me? And so because I had been working for small businesses, I'd started to pick up some marketing skills. And then all of a sudden I found myself thinking about, that little voice inside you that's like, I don't know if I'm meant to work for other people. And as business owners, this tends to happen to us. Like, we work for other people and we either get really frustrated, or something just isn't right. And for me, I was finding I was like getting into these jobs, and I would be in them for about maybe 6 to 12 months. And it wasn't that I wasn't, I wouldn't consider myself like a flaky person that changes her mind. Often I can be consistent, but there was just something that really felt out of alignment with working for someone else. And so that's when I kind of decided that maybe running my own business would be right for me. But that was something that I imagined really, really, really far into the future, like maybe after kids, that kind of thing. And so what ended up happening was when I put that manifestation out into the world and I literally let it go. And this is one of the, biggest things is when we let that expectation go, it falls into our lap, and a business literally fell into my lap. I went into an interview to be a casual tour guide and they offered me half the business. And I was like, sorry, this seems really weird and dodgy. Like, what are you saying? Like, you're going to give me half of the business. And it turned out that they had started the business, had been running for a couple of years. They needed someone to work in the business as a guide and also in their marketing side of things, because one of the directors was pregnant and she needed to take maternity leave, but they weren't at the point where they could pay someone to do it. So they decided to give someone shares in the business as kind of like payment. And then eventually that person would own the business and take, drawings and all that kind of stuff. And so I worked my butt off for the next couple of years in that business. And again, I got to the point where I was like, this is, something doesn't feel right. I'm just not aligned with this. And I felt really aligned with being a business owner, and I learned so much, but it just wasn't right. So anyway, I found myself in marketing and social media. So I spent some time in that. So there's lots of different iterations. And then I finally landed on mentoring small business owners, which honestly, in the beginning, absolutely terrified me. Like, terrified me. I could not think of anything worse than sitting down one-on-one with a business owner and talking to them about their marketing and trying to give them advice. I was like, what do I know? I don't know anything. Like, why am I the person that they're going to come to? And so I did that for a while, and I obviously grew in my confidence, and then everything started to fall into place for me. And I was like, I think that working with women in their businesses, because I am so passionate about my business and my freedom and my financial freedom and all of these things, my dreams, my goals, and living a life in alignment, that I want to help other women do the same. And so that's how I ended up here. I did a coaching certification, and I am certified in NLP, EFT, time hypnosis. So that's just a bunch of subconscious mind techniques. And yeah, that's pretty much where I am at right now. In the past, probably 6 months, I've grown my Instagram from about 200 to 850. And my very first sale was $9. And I was stoked. Like, we all know that our first sale is so exciting. And then I up-leveled so quickly that my next sale was 2.5K. So I have definitely seen such a fast amount of growth. And it's all because I worked on my mindset throughout my coaching training. I used all of the techniques that I have in my arsenal, and I have literally, my life has changed like completely. I'm just so happy with where I am at the moment, and I want to help other women feel the same. So let's jump into it now that you know a little bit about me. I want to know, what does being magnetic mean to you? So for me, I find that it's something about someone, and sometimes it's intangible. We can't actually put our finger on it. But it's definitely something about confidence. It's about them being authentically themselves. Sometimes it's about vulnerability, and someone who's dynamic and not afraid, someone being brave. So there's lots of different things, but I would love to know if you want to spend just a couple of minutes thinking about, what does being magnetic mean to you? And please do drop it in the chat if you have any thoughts around it. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how magnetic do you feel right now in your business? So I would love that to go in the chat. If you can't think of what magnetic means to you, at least put a number in the chat on how you're feeling right now in your business. Yep. Naturally attracting like-minded souls. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. So dream clients, doing what you love, sharing your passion, and people feeling your passion. Yeah. I have passion tattooed on my leg. That's how passionate I am about life. 5 out of 10. Okay. So we definitely have some room there. All right. So we're going to try and lift that up today. So firstly, I wanted to jump in. Oh, we can't see that very well. I apologize. But basically this says, why do we need to work on our mindset? So if you're here, then you probably already have some answers to this yourself. But I wanted to give a little bit of background on the subconscious mind in case anyone hasn't come across this type of stuff before, because I find that when you learn the facts and some of the science behind some of these things, it just helps integrate it much deeper. As I said, I have a marine biology degree, so I love the science portion of things. It helps back everything up for me, but I also have such a like spiritual woo-woo side as well. So I love marrying the two together. So your subconscious mind is running the show 95% of the time. So from ages 0 to 7, we take in everything. We don't have a filter at that point. So we're taking in everything from our outside world, and we're taking a lot of it in as the truth. Then after age of 7, we start to filter some of that stuff out. So whatever you've experienced when you're young, you'll start to build up layers as you go through your life of the things that you've learned. So for example, if we grew up in a household that, finances were a bit tough, we'll take that through our life, and then we start to find more and more evidence of that in our life. So all of our actions, our emotions, our behaviors depend on the 95% of that subconscious mind that we're not even aware of. So we're running this program without even thinking about it, and it just kind of naturally happens. We have something called the reticular activating system, which is that filter, and it acts as the gatekeeper of the information. So basically, if you believe that, millionaires are bad, let's take that for example, your reticular activating system is going to look at everything in the world and take in that information, and it will filter out anything that doesn't align with your belief that millionaires are bad. So you're going to continuously see things that prove to you that millionaires are bad. So this goes for any belief that we have. And sometimes we don't even know what our beliefs are. They just kind of happen, and our life just happens, and we feel like our life is happening to us. The good thing is that we can change our programming, and this is what's super exciting. And obviously the reason we want to work on our mindset is to level up faster, because when you get into this subconscious mind stuff, you will see really, really fast growth. And your business is ultimately a reflection of you, whether you're a personal brand or not. All of your energy, your beliefs, everything is going to transmute into your business. So that's obviously why we want to work on this stuff. So as I said, we're going to go through the 3-step process, which is clarity plus alignment plus embodiment equals magnetic to our dream clients. Now, when you look at these things individually, you might not think that, how does that make you magnetic? But we're going to go into it, and you'll start to see how these things come together. Basically, clarity, we want to get clear on where we're going, because if we're not clear and we don't know where we're going, then our dream clients can't know where we're going either. So you have to be super, super clear on what it is you're doing, and how you're getting there, I would say, is important, but you also have to be flexible in how you're going to get there, but at least know your destination. Getting into alignment, if we're out of alignment and we're not being our authentic selves, then our dream clients are not going to be attracted to us. So as Charlotte said, naturally attracting like-minded souls, we can't do that if we're not being ourselves and we're not living in alignment. And then embodiment is that next level. So when you are stepping into your power, which is at your next level, that is just so magnetic. So that's a really important piece as well. So let's go into creating clarity. So as I said, creating clarity is like having a GPS. So we need to know our destination. It's like your North Star, and it stops us from getting off track. So yeah, we just need to know where we're going, and like we said, we want to know how we're going to get there, but being flexible. So what I want you to do is I want you to spend a couple of minutes. I'm going to set a timer. I want you to think about your big dreams. So like, this is the stuff that's like it feels unrealistic. Like, it feels even scary to think about. We don't even want to think about how big that is because it seems so, so far away. So I don't want you to think about what society or your family says. I just want you to think about, what if you could have anything, what would it be? So if I can have anything, what would it be? And I want you to relate this back to business for the moment, but feel free to come back at any point and do this in regards to any part of your life. And I think it's important to do, because we don't want to just focus on business all the time. And, you know, our business creates our life and vice versa. So think about what you would want if you could have anything. So I'm just going to mute myself for a couple of minutes. And when you're done, feel free to drop kind of your main point in the chat if you like. Always makes it more real when you share it with someone else. I've always been like such a huge, huge dreamer. And it's like massive, massive goals. And it's so funny when I talk to people and, you know, you talk about what they're kind of wanting in their life. And it's just, I just find that mine are just so beyond, beyond. So once you've got your big, big dream, all right, cool. Create a life I don't want to or have to retire from. Yep. Financial freedom. I can travel the world and still have an income during doing the work I truly love. Yeah, beautiful. So I would say mine is very, very similar. Have a, you know, life and business that you don't want to kind of escape from. Traveling, such a huge, huge goal. So now that you've got your massive dreams, I want you to set a SMART goal. Now, like if you had have asked me maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have like kind of rolled my eyes at a SMART goal. I would have been like, no, like that just no, it doesn't feel right. But what I've found is when you do set them, it helps everything become more clear. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create clarity. So if you set a specific goal, and it doesn't necessarily have to have a deadline, but it does help. It helps you work backwards. And then you kind of can break it down. So if you've got a financial goal, so say, Arenda, your big goal is financial freedom, pick a number for the year that you want to achieve. And what I like to do is I like to have it somewhere just outside of my comfort zone. So somewhere that feels like, okay, I think I could achieve that, but let's go a little bit further and then break it down. So how many of your offers would you have to sell, or your products would you need to sell? How many customers would you need to have, and start to break it down? And then when you break it down, you can look at a year ahead, and then you can look at a quarter, and then you can break it down to a month. And I have found that that makes everything so much more realistic. And if I know that I only have to sell like 3 like one-on-one coaching spots to achieve my goal for the month, like that seems super, super doable. So I think that it's important because there's like kind of like two sides of the argument at the moment about SMART goals. Some people, like some coaches, are really off them and they'll be like, no, that like it doesn't feel right. So I would do what feels right for you, but I would at least try, because yeah, I have found that this has just made everything so much clearer for me. And I'll say I haven't necessarily achieved my goals every month. Like it might not happen. You might get even more than what you set. And like, that's amazing. So I think it just helps keep you on track. So like we said, you've got your North Star. Your North Star is your big, big goal. And then you can start breaking it down into little pieces that seem more achievable. And this is going to get you there a lot faster. So once you've done that, I want you to pick 3 things that you can do to move towards that goal. So what are 3 action steps that you can take, hopefully in the next, like, let's say 3 weeks, because I think that's realistic. What are 3 things you can do in the next 3 weeks that will move you towards that goal? And I've written bonus points if you set a date for each action. And I think this is more important because things will start to come up. You'll start to procrastinate. You'll start to avoid some of the things, especially if your goal feels a little bit scary. So these are the things that we can start to check in with that will help to give us the clues of how to get to our goal. So if you can think about the action steps, not what other people would tell you to do, not what you think is logical, but what feels good to you. And sometimes it's even better, instead of picking 3 things, if you can just have a brainstorming session on all the things. Like, don't, even if it doesn't feel right, just write it down. Like if it's an idea, just write it down. So it could be like, all right, my goal is to attract 50 more people on my email list. One of the things I could do for that is like print out my like website or something on a flyer and go drop it in some letterboxes. I'm probably not going to do that, but it's an idea, so I write it down. So just write everything down, whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, and then you can start to feel into or use your intuition or whatever works for you, and pick the top 3 things that are going to move you closer towards that goal. And if you have thought of something that you're going to commit to, feel free to drop it in the chat. Create a course to allow passive income. Beautiful. So what are we going to do to make that happen? More consistent marketing on social media. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we can do something like you can commit to, X number of posts a week, or I'm going to show up on my stories on Mondays and Thursdays, or whatever that looks like for you. For me, and I know you're a projector, Arenda, so I find that I try and be as flexible as I can with my social media, because some days the energy just isn't there. And so I might have planned like a content day, but if I wake up that morning and I just cannot get that energy going, I just don't do it. Because I think it's more important to show up when I'm feeling my most magnetic. And that's not to say that you shouldn't show up when you're not your best self, because you don't want to like filter your reality too much that you're pretending to be something that you're not. But it's more about how can I be of service to my audience? And for me, I want to create content on the days that I feel like creating content. And plus that just feels better for me anyway. So yeah, awesome. All right. So next step is to get into alignment. So alignment can mean different things for different people. It's one of those words that is a bit of a buzzword at the moment. But for me, I just find that it describes perfectly how to live my most, like, I guess my higher self and my most whole self. So when I'm not trying to be something that I'm not, when I'm just being fully me, and I'm taking actions, and I'm moving towards the things that I really deep down want. So to get into alignment, there's a few different things that we need to do. And one of them is removing our limiting beliefs and our negative thought patterns. So we talked before about the subconscious mind and how we have an automatic programming that's running in the background. And sometimes these things are actually holding us back. Excuse me. And we're not able to move towards the things that we really, really want, because we've got that subconscious programming, like, kind of, I don't want to say limiting us, because I think that we can do whatever we want. But there is some things that it will be harder. That's probably the best way to describe it, is if you don't work on these things, you will eventually get through them. It'll probably just be harder, and you'll probably find that the patterns repeat, and you'll attract the same situations and people and things over and over again until you find other evidence. You could say learn the lesson, but I don't necessarily believe that personally. But if you believe that, then until you've learned the lesson and you can break that pattern. So common limiting beliefs for business owners: fear of failure. So for me, when I left my second business, when I left my first business, starting my second business was terrifying, because I still had that feeling that I had failed in my first business. And I didn't, because the business was doing very well. It just didn't necessarily pay me a decent enough wage to kind of live off of. So that's not a failure. I learned so much and I grew as a person, but that fear was massively, massively there. And I was thinking, what are people going to think? I already tried and that didn't work, and, all of those kind of things. Often we can also have a fear of success. And this is a really interesting one, because we all really want success and we want our business to do really well. But deep down, there might be some programming there that's stopping us from our next level, because a little part of us is scared. And this can be sometimes to do with what other people think of us. So if you think that, oh, well, if I am super successful, maybe my friends won't like me anymore. Maybe we won't relate to each other. They'll think I'm, greedy or whatever it is. Also, if you have beliefs around people who are successful or people who are wealthy, then that can hold you back as well. Because if you think that someone who's wealthy is not a good person. So if you think, billionaires are really bad people, millionaires are really bad people, they're greedy, all those things, then that could be limiting you from your fear of success. So unless we break that, you're going to eventually hit a ceiling that you probably aren't going to be able to get past. Sometimes we can also have a scarcity mindset. So as we talked about before, if you grew up in a household that, struggled a little bit financially, or bills caused conflict in the house, or, a lot of different things like that, we can have a scarcity mindset. We can hold on to money really, really tightly. Maybe there's a cycle of debt, all those kind of things. Another one is that we have to work hard to be successful. I love this one because I really believe that doesn't have to be the case. I'm the type of person that has very limited energy, and I work like a few hours a day, and I know people who, very, very successful people, who work very, very minimal and are hugely, hugely successful. So you don't have to burn out. You don't have to work all the time. You don't have to do these crazy 12-hour days unless it's aligned for you. And this is what I always say is, like, for some people that's going to work. Like, that's great. If you feel like you want to put 12 hours in and you're not burnt out and it's fulfilling you, great, go ahead. If you want to work 3 hours a day, great, go ahead. Like, whatever alignment is for you, that's what's important. So next question for you is, what's holding you back from achieving your goal? So did anything that I just say trigger something in you, felt a little bit off, or maybe you went, oh yeah, actually I think that. So I want you to spend a couple of minutes. What do you think is holding you back from achieving your goal? So if you can relate it specifically to the goals that you've just written down, amazing. But if you're thinking your goal is more like just general business success or being magnetic or whatever it is for you, think about what's holding you back from that. So Charlotte, money mindset and limiting beliefs around self-worth, all from younger years, which I'm working on every day now. Yeah, amazing. And like, the thing is with limiting beliefs, there's always going to be something there. You'll always hit that new level, and something will be uncovered. And that's what's beautiful about being human and running a business, is that we're always uncovering those new layers. And we don't have to let this stuff hold us back. We can be imperfect and still have massive success. But it is important to work through these things. And one of the biggest things is, when you identify a limiting belief, even just being consciously aware of it can start to like pull at those threads of the belief, and it'll actually start to unravel naturally itself. Sometimes we need a little bit of deeper work, because there might be layers. It might be like what you think is the problem is actually something a lot deeper. And sometimes it takes a bit of like peeling back to get to the ultimate cause. But yeah, I think that as long as you're conscious of it and you can kind of catch those thoughts when they come in, we still need to feel all of the emotions and go through all of that. But if you can then have a reflection time where you think about, okay, that was interesting that I reacted that way. I wonder why I did, or maybe you already know why you did, or, and you can start to dive into that a little bit more. So then after we've had a look at some of those things holding us back, and we can start to unravel them, and you can journal on them, you can talk to someone about them, there's lots of different ways that you can move those beliefs. We want to take aligned action. So getting into alignment is about removing the crap and then moving forward. So taking aligned action is what we talked about before. So when we looked at those action steps that you wanted to take towards your goal, these are the things that come kind of naturally, that light you up, that feel good. It doesn't mean that the aligned action might not be challenging, but it doesn't feel heavy. I think that's probably the best way that it sits for me, is that when I'm taking aligned action, it still might be hard. I still might have challenges. It still might feel like I'm climbing uphill. But deep down, I know that that's the right thing. And it still feels good. Like even if it's hard, it still feels good in the end. Like when I look at the big picture. The other thing with your alignment is keep that clarity in mind and don't get caught up in shiny strategy syndrome. So this can be really tempting as a business owner. Everyone is giving different advice on, marketing, on social media, on, having a business plan, don't have a business plan, do this, don't do this, you need to have a webinar, you need to have this. Like, at the end of the day, that stuff is the 5 to 10% of your business. It doesn't necessarily matter what you do. It's how you're showing up when you do it, and making sure that we're keeping our dream clients in mind when we do. So whatever feels good in the aligned action, and not getting distracted by other people. And that's not to say that, when there's something new, that you can't follow it, because we want to take inspiration and we want to follow new ideas. But it's more like, don't just jump ship all the time to the new thing, because that's essentially getting you off path. You will probably come back. It's just going to take you a lot longer. And step 3 is embodiment. So this is all about stepping into your power, embodying your next level, and being that person as much as you can now. So I used to really like fake it till you make it. Some people that doesn't sit well with. It's not about faking it, but it's about, what are the things that I can do today that will make me feel like the type of person that already has the thing that I'm working towards. So your big dreams, or even just your goal of, creating the course, or having, being consistent on social media. Think about the type of person that is already doing that, has already got that goal, is already nailing it, just day to day. It's already natural to them. And there's clues there into the things you can change today that are easy, that will allow you to step into that next level now. And also just claiming your power. So just really getting grounded in that you're an amazing, infinite human being and that there's things so much bigger than ourselves, because I think we just and I am so guilty of this. We get so bogged down in that's the specifics in our day-to-day and all of those things, and we just forget that we are so powerful. We're born powerful, and we get to be successful because we decide it. We get to be magnetic because we decide it. And that's also comes back to the mindset piece, is if you believe in your subconscious mind that you are powerful, that you are magnetic, that you are confident, that you are a badass business owner, whatever it is, the RAS, the reticular activating system, will show you the evidence of that, and your reality will start to shift and opportunities will start to open up so that it aligns with what you believe in your subconscious mind. So, what is the most magnetic version of you doing, or the person that's achieving your goal? How are they showing up, and who are they being? And I want you to just take a couple of minutes to journal on that one. And you can drop it in the chat when you're done. This is where I struggle maintaining this way of being. Yeah. So I would try and come back to what's feeling hard about that. If you're struggling with, and because I think, we run the risk of being fake or thinking that we need to be like high vibe all the time. There's that like toxic positivity, which is just absolute crap. Where like we're human, we feel negative emotions. It's a whole part of the process, and you don't have to be high vibe all the time to attract what you want, to be successful, all of those things. But what feels hard about the next level? Like, what's the resistance? Where's that coming from? And that's where I would start, because when you release that, it's going to be easier to show up as that person. So even just think about like the day-to-day, what is the person doing when they wake up? How do they feel? What what are they eating for breakfast? Do they make their bed? What are the things, what are the littlest of things that they do every day that will leave you clues? So for me, one of the things, and there's resistance around this for me, is, and it doesn't even seem linked, but when I think about my absolute most successful self and in my business, she is waking up and doing yoga most days. And I do yoga occasionally, like I go to a class or something, but at the moment I am not doing that every morning. And so there's some stuff there for me that I need to unpack, because if she's doing that, then I need to, incorporate that into my day-to-day. Now, is that going to be the thing that unlocks huge levels of success in my business? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's because yoga makes me more grounded. Maybe it makes me feel more confident in my body. Maybe it helps me be healthy, and all of that translates into my business. I don't know. But there's certain things that you'll find that will really stick out when you think about this version of you, what they're doing, and what are the things that are easy for you to do today. Because the yoga thing for me, for some reason, it's hard for me to do every day. But I went to a yoga class yesterday. So like, how can we, instead of trying to just change everything, like what are the little things that we can do today? How would they show up? How would she show up on social media? Empowered but calm and always authentic. Yeah, I love that. That's so beautiful. So how can you feel more empowered or calm in each day? And how can you, if you're not already, which you probably are, but be more authentic for yourself? Confident, accomplished, and excited about the day. Yeah. Allow more time for myself. So yeah, how can you feel more confident? What's something that makes you feel confident? Like you could write down all of the things that, like for example, once I've exercised, I feel more confident, or once I've like put on my makeup in the morning, or whatever it is, like if I wear my favorite outfit, or if I go out with my friends, or what are the things that make you feel more confident about yourself, and try and do those in your day so that you're feeling the way that that next level version of you feels. For Charlotte, allowing more time for yourself, that could be potentially setting some boundaries or putting time in your calendar to allow for that, and really making sure that you block out that time for you. Because if we're not filling up our cup, then we can't give to others. It's really hard to give from a half full or an empty cup. So we want to be like overflowing. So it's not selfish to have more time to yourself if that's what you need to show up as your best self, because you're doing everyone else a favor in your life. You're doing your business a favor, you're doing your audience, you're doing your friends and family a favor. When you can be your best self, it will flow out into them. So how can we be that person today? So we talked about that, and rewiring your subconscious can really help with this. So if you haven't tried hypnosis, hypnosis is a great one because it talks directly to your subconscious. It bypasses that gatekeeper. So what you can do is you can, I'm sure there's like lots online. I'm a hypnosis practitioner, but you can have a recording, so you can listen to a guided meditation or a hypnosis. You could do affirmations. We do time techniques. So time techniques are where we access your timeline and we can insert your goals and your identity and your behaviors in your future so that you start taking action towards those goals. And also just following that intuition. So whatever your intuition looks like for you, for some of us, that's a gut feeling. For some of us, it's an inner knowing. For some of us, you can hear the answer. There's lots of different ways that you can access your intuition. If you don't know what that is for you, I would suggest sitting in some silence and seeing what comes to you. I like to play with my intuition with like when I'm driving. So I'll say, oh, okay, am I going to go down, like when I'm in a parking lot, am I going to go down this first one or the next one? Where am I going to get that park? And I start to play with that to see if I can get the right answer and I can get myself a really good park. Or food, if I'm thinking about food, like I try and like feel into the decision of what I'm supposed to have to eat. So you can start really, really small with your intuition to try and build it out. But yeah, as I said, some people, it's just like, straight away. For me and Arenda, that's pretty much the case. We like know the answer, it just comes. For other people, it's in your gut. For some people, it's a feeling, or yeah. So there's lots of different ways to access your intuition. But following your intuition is going to be like the breadcrumbs towards your next level. That's pretty much it. So even if you don't like work on those beliefs, even if you did nothing of that, just purely following your intuition is going to open up your next level. Maybe not as fast, but it will get there for sure. So now I want you to take a moment and we're going to just relax, and you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable to do so. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and again, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and one more, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Now, I want you to imagine the next level version of you, the one that we just talked about, the one that is achieving or has achieved the goal that you set for yourself. You're feeling empowered. You're feeling confident. You're feeling accomplished. You're feeling calm. And what do you see around you? What do you hear? What do you feel? And who are you with? And I want you to think about that next level version of you who is so, so magnetic. Dream clients and customers love to work with you. You have a constant, steady flow of customers and sales coming into your business. And your day feels so aligned, and you're taking action every day towards your big, big dreams. Life feels good. You have financial and time freedom. And you are just so magnetic. And when you're ready, I want you to take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Wriggle your fingers and toes and come back into the room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. How did that feel? I hope it felt really good. And now, if you had a number before, I want you to now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how magnetic are you feeling in your business now? And let's see if we moved the needle. Eight. Yay! So I went from a 5 to an 8. Amazing. Charlotte, do you have a number? I'm not sure what your number was at the start, but if you can let me know. I feel an 8 was only like a 6 to start. Beautiful. Oh gosh, I'm so happy that we could move that a little bit. And the more that you allow this to integrate, if you come back, if you reflect on those questions again, you'll start to feel that more. So I hope that this has opened up the door and you feel super, super magnetic and ready to go out there and just slay it in your business. All right. So now, I'm not sure what made you come today. Maybe you're feeling a little bit frustrated that your business isn't growing as quickly as you'd like. Maybe you were feeling a little bit stuck, overwhelmed, or you didn't have that direction and clarity that you now are feeling. And maybe you've heard all of the things about how business owners are working on their mindset and they're having that success, and that's, you know, what we're looking for in our business, and how you're wondering how it might be able to work for you. So I hope that you've, you know, discovered through this that your mindset really is like an ultimate tool to radically grow your business. We've seen that shift in how magnetic we felt. So that's just scratching the surface to what you can uncover in your business. And when we get into full alignment with who we truly are, then you'll just become an absolute magnet for customers, for income, for all of those things. So this is something that we can do now, basically. So how can you now create a profitable and abundant business and leverage that power of your mindset and of the magnetic mindset that we've just created and we're going to work on, and the power of your subconscious. So obviously you can go forward out into the world and trial and error. And, what we've worked on today is obviously super valuable, but it's literally only the surface of what we can do. Or you can jump into the Abundant Business Blueprint if it's something that you feel so called to do. I am not at all a salesy person. I am just wanting to share with the world what I have to offer. So if it's something that feels aligned to you, I would absolutely love to work with you. If it doesn't, that's totally fine. And I'm so happy that you joined in this today. But I do just want to quickly tell you about my beautiful, beautiful program that's coming out, the Abundant Business Blueprint. It is a step-by-step mindset course for soul-led women like yourself in business. And we are going to attract our dream clients and grow our businesses to 6 figures and beyond, whatever your massive dream was that you thought about at the start. And working on your mindset is literally the quickest, most effective way to go from feeling kind of like that overwhelmed and stuck feeling and coming into aligned action and starting to see results in your business. So it's 5 modules. There's 3 live masterclasses. We're going to have masterclass / Q&A, so you can jump on and we can work through some stuff. I've also got meditations, hypnosis, and subliminals. And that, as we talked about, bypasses that critical faculty, that reticular activating system, and talks directly to your subconscious mind. So it supports all of the other work that we're doing. Workbooks, journal prompts, all of those things, so that we can help integrate even deeper, and you get lifetime access as well. So if you want to imagine, say, 3, 6, 12 months from now, you know exactly what steps to take in your business to move the needle and create results. You have more flow and fun in your day. You're working even less and making even more. You're getting your raving feedback and testimonials from your dream clients, and you're never worrying about where that next sale's coming from. And you're just feeling so successful and abundant, and your energy is just spilling out into the world and attracting those opportunities and clients and all of the wealth that you truly, truly deserve. So these are the modules that we run through. So we go through some of the steps of clarity, aligned action, and embodiment that we did today. We go a lot deeper into the subconscious, and we touch a little bit on spirituality as well. So thank you for still being here. If you're wondering how much this is going to cost you, this isn't something that you can obviously hire someone to do for you. It's not like, like a social media plan or something that you can outsource. Your mindset is your mindset, and you have to do the work. You could hire a one-on-one coach. To give you an idea, my prices start at $3,333 for 3 months to work one-on-one. But this program is just $599, and I do have payment plans as well. So 3 monthly payments of $200. And today I am also giving you, for the next 48 hours, $150 off. So it comes down to $449. So it's like cheap as chips compared to working one-on-one. There's also 3 bonuses. I've got even more audios for you. There's subliminals, meditations, hypnosis in there. So even more things to integrate. Money Mindset Masterclass, because we all want the money, we all love the money, but we also all do have a lot of limiting beliefs around money. And moving negative emotions with tapping. So EFT, which is emotional freedom techniques. These are really, really amazing tools to move emotions quickly. So if you've never done tapping before, this is going to be really, really fun for you to move any kind of negative emotions or energy quicker. So as I said, $150 off next 48 hours. The code is ABB23 at checkout. I'm going to send you all the details in an email afterwards as well. And I am just so, so appreciative of your time today. And I really hope that this was helpful for you. And yeah, if you have any questions about the program, email me, DM me, drop it in the chat, whatever you like. I'm accessible through there. And yeah, I would love to see you in there. And if not, I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you in a masterclass in the future. So have a lovely day, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye.